Hey team, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to review and summarize $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan, the surprisingly simple way to launch a 7-figure business in 48 hours. Noah Kagan is a serial entrepreneur, investor, and CEO. His background is that he was number 30 at Facebook and actually invented the status button before being fired by Zuckerberg himself. He then went on to be number 4 at Mint.com, which he helped grew to insane numbers. And finally, in 2010, he started AppSumo, his insanely successful software company. Nowadays, he's worth about $36 million. Suffice it to say, this guy's done a lot. And $1 Million Weekend is Noah Kagan's manifesto on how to start and scale a company from scratch. Now, this video is sponsored by AppSumo. They actually reached out to me after my last video where I discussed $1 Million Weekend and asked me to make a full dedicated video reviewing it. And I was happy to do so because I just genuinely loved this book so much when I first read it a few months ago. All right, the first important principle in this book related to starting a company as a software engineer is the fact that your first business will fail. You're probably a software engineer or a computer science student who's thought about starting a company. And when I talk to people just like you, a common thing I hear from my friends who are in the same camp is that they're going to wait around and think about ideas for the next 2 to 4 years, and eventually they'll come up with some incredible idea for a software company, and then at that point they'll finally take the leap and start their very first company. And this is called the idea trap. It's a common mistake where people think that the idea is the most important part of starting a company, and once they have a good idea, the company will automatically be successful, which could not be farther from the truth. Your first company will fail. Your first company is like your first YouTube video. It's kind of well known in the YouTube community that your first video is not going to get any views on it.
Your first video is not going to get views. Period.
Even if you pick the best idea for a YouTube video in the world, it just won't get any views. And starting a company is exactly the same. Noah Kagan discusses the idea that business and entrepreneurship is actually a skill that you can get better at. Let's consider another analogy. So think of business as weightlifting, and the amount of profit your business makes is the amount of weight you can lift on the bench press. On your first day in the gym, you are not going to be able to bench press much. At max, maybe 100, 110 pounds, probably not even that. It would be crazy for people to think that their first day, their first week in the gym is going to lead to 300, 400 pound lifts. Yet that's what people think when it comes to starting their first company. They think that some angel from the heavens is going to come down and bless them with some insane idea. And once they have that, then they're set. Let me give you another example. Let me tell you, if you had a time machine, went back to 2004 and tried to start Facebook before Zuckerberg, there's a good chance that he would still beat you because you're not ready to start a Facebook. You don't have the skills necessary to actually start and grow that company. So it's not about the idea. You could not beat Steve Jobs. You couldn't beat Bill Gates. You couldn't beat Zuckerberg. You couldn't beat Bezos with their own idea. The next idea Noah Kagan talks about is the fact that business is on a spectrum and you have to work your way through the levels of business before you can get to that $1 billion company. And in this analogy, the levels to business are the amount of profit you take in. So you have to work your way through earning your first dollar, then earning $100 a month, then $1,000, then $10,000, and then you can start thinking about $100,000 and $1 million. And another aspect of this is the fact that the business that will make you $10,000 a month is not the same business that will make you $100,000 a month. Often you have to start with some random business that will get you $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, and then you scrap that after you've learned the skills through that business, and then you just progressive overload to one that will get you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Noah tells the story of his friend Jake, who he was trying to coach into starting his first company. Now, Jake had a bunch of ideas, but he eventually decided on starting a high-ticket golf trip service. Basically, Jake would organize about 5 to 10 really good golfers to come together and go on a magical golf trip somewhere in the world. He would book all the hotels, he would find the golf courses, he would help organize and ship everybody's clubs. He would just take all of the time and effort to plan this luxury golf trip. So Jake went ahead and called a bunch of his family and friends, and he actually got a few deposits from people who were interested in signing up for this. So the business actually started to do well. Jake started to have some money come in, he started to make the bookings, he started planning everything, but then Jake turns to Noah and says, "Noah, I feel like this business is not scalable. I mean, it's completely limited to my own time and energy to actually make these reservations and bookings. So I think I'm going to scrap the whole thing and instead start a software company." Noah wanted to strangle Jake. Jake had just started making his first money through entrepreneurship, and in his mind, because he thought this golf business had to scale to $1 million a month, he thought it was a waste of time to push it through 10, 20K a month. All right, so now that you're convinced that it's time to actually start your basic level company, how do you actually know what to do? Realistically, your first company is probably going to be some kind of organizational service business or coaching or something like that. The best way to know what company to start is to make a list of 5 to 10 problems that you want to solve. problems that actually affect your day-to-day life. The reason you want to do this is because of the fact that if you have these problems, it means that other people have the same problems too. And if you would pay for someone to solve that problem, that means that other people will pay you to solve that problem. Let me give you an example. So a huge frustration of mine is that I really want someone to cook me chicken and rice on a daily basis and just give it to me every single day. And I think Chipotle is great. I mean, I love getting Chipotle every day for lunch, but I don't actually live close to the nearest Chipotle. In all the meal kits, meal delivery services, the food ends up going bad, it sits in my fridge for too long, and it doesn't actually end up tasting as good as Chipotle. I want someone to bring me just chicken and rice, Chipotle style, every single day. And I would be willing to pay someone $10 to $15 per meal if they could do that. There we go. So now we have an actual problem to solve. Now, the way I could solve that problem is I could find 3 to 5 people I knew who have the same mindset as me. Particularly my brother, I know he would pay the same $10 to $15 per meal minimum for the same service. And he would know several other people who are high net worth individuals, they don't have a lot of time, and they want to pay for healthy, nutritious, protein-filled food delivered directly to them. At that point, you call up these 5 to 10 people, you try to get them to pay you a deposit for the entire month of meal deliveries. Once they pay you for the next month, you go ahead, you cook up the chicken, the rice for the people who have paid you, and then you just go around and start delivering the meals in the morning. On each meal, you earn $5 to $10 right there. If you're doing it for 5 to 10 people every day for 30 days, that's like $2,000 to $3,000 a month profit in this business. I know what you're thinking at this point, okay? You're like, Aman, I earn $5,000 in my day job per month anyway. Why would I spend all of my mornings every single day cooking up chicken and rice and delivering it when I can just work my day job and earn more money? But that's the misconception there, because this chicken and rice business is not your final $1 million business. You start this just to get the entrepreneurship bug, just to start learning the process of actually starting and running a business. And then you decide to scale it up and outsource it and hire other people to do the work for you, or you decide to abandon the business model and pick something else up. But you have to work through the businesses that don't earn much before you can jump all the way to the ones that earn a lot. Hell, you might even lose money in your first business. It's about learning the skills first and then scaling. If you truly want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a business owner, you need to risk earning less now so that you can earn more later. At the end of the day, a salary job has a capped upside. Your salary increases every year are usually less than 5 to 10%. Businesses routinely 5 to 10x year by year. The next lesson Noah talks about in this book is the unlimited upside of asking. The whole process behind entrepreneurship is asking people for money, and in exchange, you either solve a problem or provide a result for them. That's all it is. And a huge part of entrepreneurship is getting comfortable with asking people for their money. People are terrified of asking. I have a friend who's trying to launch a medical school coaching business. So she goes through people's essays, she actually works with them directly to try to get them into medical school. And when I told her to plug her business in her YouTube videos, she told me that she just felt so uncomfortable and dirty for asking people to buy her program. What you don't realize is that when you have a good product or service, people will stand in line to give you that money. Look at the launch of the iPhone. In 2007, 2008, people would camp outside Apple stores for days to try to get the first iPhone. No one is thinking, how dare Apple sell me an iPhone for $1,000? No, people were over the moon that they could get something so good for so cheap. So it's all relative. If I could buy a program to help me get into medical school for $5,000, $10,000, it's still worth it. Doctors earn like $500K a year. It would be ridiculous to not spend that money. So it's all relative at the end of the day. To address the fear of asking, Noah Kagan has 2 challenges. The first one is called the $1 challenge. This challenge is where you just call up one of your friends or family members and you ask them to invest $1 in your business. In the car right now, I'm about to do the $1 challenge. It's my brother Arsh.
Howdy.
We're actually gonna call my other brother Adil and see if he'll just give me $1. He probably won't pick up.
Your call has been forwarded.
Dude, he didn't pick up. My brother didn't pick up, so Arch is gonna call someone, one of his friends. Dude.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
Yo, what's up, man? Dude, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you? I just had a question. I was wondering if you could Venmo me $1.
Sure. I'm down.
Okay, thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Peace.
All right, bye.
Dude, that's really yeah. Wasn't that really like nerve-wracking?
A little bit.
That
yeah.
Dude, that was scary, but like it's fine.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he did it.
Oh, yeah.
The Venmo balances went up by 1.
Oh, he said this.
Dude, let's go. How do you feel now?
I feel like I know who my true friends are. The
second challenge is called the coffee challenge. And this is where you go to a cafe and you ask for a 15% discount on your order. I'm going to try that right now.
5.
Can I get like a 10% discount on that? Thank you. Okay, as you can see, both these challenges are built to actually become more comfortable and familiar with asking people for things, which is a necessary skill if you're going to want to start and scale a company as a software engineer. In conclusion, this book is definitely worth reading. It's also pretty small, and it's the new definitive guide for starting and scaling a company in 2024. There's so many more lessons that I didn't cover. There's a whole thing about the customer first approach. There's the whole process behind actually scaling and growing the company once you have something that's making you money, all about the freedom number, starting a newsletter, how to get leads, how to do sales. So if you want to buy this book, you can hit the link in the description to get 75% off if you purchase it on AppSumo. If you guys like this video, I cover books like this and other topics that I find interesting in my weekly email newsletter called Thoughtful Thursday. You can go to amanmanazar.com/newsletter and subscribe right there. I promise I won't send you any spam. People have told me that it's the best newsletter they've ever subscribed to, so I'd highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.